do what you want to do. For women today, there's a women's movement, and women, the world is opening up for women to have more opportunity. And I said, well, I'd like to make film, you know, and so he said, well, you need to go to film school. So he says, do you know anyone in the East Coast? I said, no, and it's too cold. I'm in Colorado. I don't want to go to a colder place, and like Connecticut. And he said, would you
sit in an ice rink?
There's a giggle in the room. And I said, well, maybe California. And he said, well, if you can go to California, there's UCLA. It's a state school. Maybe you can get into that. And it was so expensive at the time. At the time, I was paying 25 cents per gallon of gas for my family's hunting Jeep, which I rode into California in. And the sheriff stopped me at the border at gunpoint. They thought I was Angela Davis because my fro was so big. And everybody's giggling. I'm taking y'all back. And when I drove down Sunset Boulevard with my aunt with $33 and a bucket of chicken, I was like, this is going to be expensive. Oh my goodness, it was nirvana. It was sunshine all the time and mansions and palm trees. I was just in Colorado. My family's from the Black West. They had a sugar beet farm in Cheyenne, Wyoming. You know, I was used to, horses and dirt and, Jeeps and hunting. And my grandfather, Daddy Ray, by the way, sidebar, my autobiography is going to be a film. Jay Farrell's going to play Richard Pryor. And Idris Elba's going to play my grandfather, Daddy Ray. And we're going to be looking for who's going to play me, who's going to play Tamara Dobson, who is my dear friend, who's going to play Freddie Prinze, one of my, a young man who I absolutely adored and fell in love with. But, the part of the story of my legacy was a woman could not give up her trajectory to find herself and be independent and fall in love and live under a man's fame. And basically, they're three, Richard Pryor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Freddie Prinze, all tried to get me to marry them at different times and give up my career, and give up my education, give up my independence to be married and be under their light and fame. And I said, no, I love me more. I need to find out who I am. Because I had been raped as a child at 6 and again at 18, and I had another attack, which was the impetus for me to accept Roger Corman's offer to do my first film and just leave and go somewhere on the other side of the world and find out who I am as a woman, grow up. And I'm just tired of, the society allowing, women to just be, this is where someone else's, object, where someone else's, they can do what they want, possession, independence. And Gloria Steinem put me on the cover of Ms. Magazine after I'd done so many films, saying, Pam, you are really this pioneer woman, and you basically set an example, and my example was from all the women who had given me the courage. All our moms and grandmothers, and Mary Fields and Calamity Jane and Annie Oakley, and all the women in our legacy are the culture of America, the country of America, who had done so many incredible things and who were not acknowledged. So I had gained a lot of that confidence, and I brought it to film. That's when Roger Corman said, woohoo, we really like what you do. And next thing you know, I did 4 films for him, which was tuition. And I said, I can go to school now. This is what I want to do. I want to be in film. And I can put razor blades in my hair that I learned in the hood. And I could put my little gun in my afro, and protect myself. Became very popular, and I was creating a brand, creating an audience, and that's what you do in film school and business school. You create an audience, you create your buyer, your market, and so that's what I was doing. And I didn't know that's what I was doing, but they told me that's what I was doing. Now there's a group of people who love to see women, and Roger Corman every day and Jack Hill, I thank them for being progressive and allowing me to bring the first feminist in my family who taught me how to hunt, fish, and shoot was my grandfather, Daddy Ray. And Idris, he deserves to play my grandfather. I can just see him, because as a little girl, I drove my grandfather crazy because I wanted to know everything. And I asked questions, and I was the only child in the family who wanted to save the ranch, who wanted to know about cabins. You know what my favorite show is? Barnward Builders. And everyone goes, I love architecture, I love cabins, and that's what my grandfather had in Wyoming. And when he had such a happy face and narratives, and he just glowed. And I could see how happy it made him, this simple life. You know, and I said, that's what I want to do. I want to bring that to movies and to films, because the world is going very, very fast. And I want to be able to be that woman that can be self-sufficient. Because Daddy Ray always told me, if a woman can do something, a man will respect you. And it's so true. Yeah, you can be pregnant and stay at home in the kitchen, but at some point he's going to resent you. Because if something goes down, he comes back from the war injured, and you can't keep the house and take care of it, he's going to get mad at you. I didn't say the bad word, because we have this young man here who's trying to say it, Pam, say it, say that bad word I'm not supposed to hear. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say the P word. So anyway, he's going to say, Dad, what is she talking about? What was it? Spell it out for me. You know, so, but anyway, I had this narrative that I brought to film of women who were being self-sufficient, but not castrating their men. Another word you're going to look up, I know. But being a partner, not to take their job away from men, but to show, because right now, when I call some of my male friends in California, hey, it's really cold, it's -10, my gates fell off, they broke off my, well, they're like, what? I knew how to put WD-40 on my gates before the freeze, so that I can turn them and they don't fall off and keep my animals in. I know how to do that. I know how to clean my guns. I know how to change the tires, spark plugs. I have John Deere. I speak John Deere. I drink all the beer and speak John Deere where I live, and they just love me. My neck is redder than most people's. They can come to me. They want to hear some racist stuff, I can tell them. They go, we're confused. I said, I know. But you love me, and you don't know why, do you? Because we're both the same. We have the same goals in being happy and healthy. And because I'm a woman, you don't have to fear me. You know, hey, don't worry about my guns. Just worry about my chainsaw. I can toss it, and now everything's on batteries. You know, the Greenworks battery chains, I can turn it on and throw it. But anyway, I like living in a rural area because I grew up rurally, Air Force Base and urban, so I bring a lot to my work, so I don't bore you. And a lot of it is very authentic, and I'm doing a series called Bless This Mess for Fox with Lake Bell and Dak Shepard and Ed Begley Jr. The four of us. It's a wonderful series. And
Do you know when that starts?
January. It's a mid-season replacement. It's a comedy. Takes place in Nebraska. And I have bomb-sniffing cows. And I can send my cows to catch a perpetrator if they get out of line. And when Lake and I were having a kind of a read-off in the beginning to come up with dialogue and stuff that is from where I live in Colorado, it's very rural. Lake said the character's afraid of cows. And I said, cows not gonna hurt you, especially my cows. They're good people. They're good cows. However, if you come after my cow with a knife and a fork, there might be, a different outcome. So leave my cows alone. So anyway, there's a lot of purity. Like we don't even curse in Franktown. We don't say. I can't curse in front of my people, my mom, my grandparents, my neighbors. They don't curse. They say gosh darn, dab nabbit. They don't curse. And so when I come to work with Sam Jackson in a Quentin Tarantino movie, okay, I got to switch my brain. I got to, okay. It's got to sound good. Like Sam Jackson, he can say the worst words, young man, and you can't see Jackie Brown until you're 18. And you can't see Foxy Brown and Coffee until you're 21. Okay? But when I come home, I have to speak another language, and it's not cursing in front of seniors, elders, and my neighbors at the feed store. You know, they just don't say, they're just different people. And I love that. And I bring that to work, so I brought it to Bless This Mess. Because the New Yorkers that come to look for the simple life and leave Manhattan and New York and come live in Nebraska, they bring all of this stuff, and we look at them like the aliens. You know, and it's just to let everyone know, we can appreciate the different cultures of who we are. And to see how much we have in common. And we get to snicker and giggle at each other's differences. And they're wonderful. And so we get to bring a little bit of the heartland. And how it can be very simple, but when it comes to winter, it can kick your... Did I hear tushy? I hear tushy. Did I hear tukas? Did I hear bum? Did I hear, come on everybody, let me hear how many times we can come up with the word for behind. Heiny, fanny, you know, anyway. So it's been such a wonderful ride to be able to play so many different characters, from horror to comedy to drama, and bring different experiences of all the people I get to meet and live with and understand and comprehend and just tolerate. Some people I just don't understand completely, because I had to leave Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because he wanted me to be a Muslim woman. And you know, I read the book and I went, wow. I can't speak to men when I walk into a room. I can't shake their hand. I can be stoned if I'm barren. And if I can't have children. And I am a slave to man. And I read the Quran and I read How to Become a Muslim Woman. And I said, I can't do this. I'm Gloria Steinem, Ms. Magazine. You know, that's who I want to be like. I want to be independent. And I had to leave someone who I really loved before he became Muslim. At UCLA, he was wonderful. And I had to learn another culture, or at least tolerate him. And when he called me on my birthday to say, hey, you got to commit to me today so I can give you a Muslim name, and we'll be married, and you'll be a basketball player's wife, you can have all the children and stay at home. I went, you only given me 3 months. You've had 3 years. I can't make you that happy, so I'm gonna let you go. So have a great marriage, and I'll be okay. And I had to let go someone who I really loved. We had a lot in common before he converted, and but I respected and his beliefs. And after that, we still remained friends. After his house burned down, he was living with a Buddhist, and someone was freebasing. I don't know whom. But he called me up and asked me to go see his house to see if there's anything left. So we still have that friendship, you know. And now, you know, I said, okay, so did you have an affair with that cheerleader in San Antonio and you have another son? So you were going to cheat on me? Or, oh no, that's allowed. Okay. I didn't read that chapter. However, I've just seen you dive off a board in some, you know, pants off of a diving board into a pool. Did I miss something? And you were dancing in Gold LeMay on Dancing with the Stars like a few months ago. Did I miss something again? So I tolerate, I understand and accept. I will not go back with him. There's not enough KY jelly in this world to make me engage with. And you don't know, we're not talking about Jell-O, J-L-O, Jell-O shooters. We're talking, you'll understand later. But anyway. And no, don't send me your uncles. I'm not dating. I can't do it. I've got my mom now. When you have an 89-year-old mom, you know, I have to coordinate when I work and when I, you know, take care of her and my family members. I'm that way. You know, my truck is a 99. Everyone's saying, what? You have all that money and you have a 99? You know, what's wrong with you? I said, hair, dirt hair. People get in my car and it's horsehair, dog hair, feathers, turkey, you know, just so. I can't clean up cars just to date anymore. I can't do it. So anyway, but it's to come here. This is my vacation. To come here and see you and hear you and talk to you, and you guys are thanking me and I'm thanking you, and just hearing your comments. You know some of the work better than I do. You know, after a while you forget because I'm old. I'm 69 now. You know, and well, thank you. And let me tell you, I feel every bit of it. Well, you know, I think it's because soap and water is good. You know, it's really good. And I'm a cancer survivor, and every day I wake up, if I'm breathing, I'm gonna have a good day. If I wake up and I'm breathing, I'm having a really good day. So I really enjoy sharing my work with you, the anecdotes, all the craziness that has gone on and how you survive. But one thing I did miss is I adored Richard Pryor, and I thought, and I just didn't want to have to. You can't change people, and you will change in a marriage. You will change in a friendship. You grow, and it's the tolerance of each other's growth. And sometimes it's just not going to work. And no one's the bad guy, unless you. Well, who wore my shoes and stretched them? Everyone's going. Who stretched Pam's shoes? Who was she dating, and where were her shoes at? Who wore Pam's shoes and stretched them? So it had to be someone with a big foot, bigger than mine. What man wore my shoes when I wasn't home? Look at everyone's going, oh my God, the intrigue.
Everyone's got their smartphone out waiting to hear the, the answer to that.
They'll have to wait until the movie.
If you haven't read Pam's autobiography, you should find a copy and read it, and you'll really be anticipating the movie when it comes out.
They're going to say, we want to know who wore them shoes at so-and-so's house, and who may have worn her underwear as well. But everyone's going, ooh. I can look at click, everyone's. But I wasn't a fast lane person. I was basically from kind of the Midwest, and they wanted me to spend more money, buy new cars and things like that, and that just wasn't me. So I left people I really loved, and I said one day I'll meet the one, and he's sitting right here, who will, look at him, who will understand and tolerate my animals and my tools and all the charities that I support. Pilots and Paws, we rescue and fly out 10,000 animals out of kill shelters every year, and Subaru is our corporate sponsor. We find a lot of the animals, which you will like, probably going to be a vet one day, or a pilot. A lot of the animals we need for PSD, seizure response, sight impaired, hearing impaired. There's a 200,000 person wait list for service dogs. So if you can foster from your local, shelters, and we've worked with the Humane Society and the SPCA, who work with the county and local shelters. They don't kill for space. They call a foster volunteer, and they'll come out and get the dogs and socialize them. And some of the foster dogs are missing limbs, and they're the perfect foster dogs for many of the rehabilitation centers. And they're just amazing. And you can find me and Pilots and Paws on NBC. They have come out, and on Animal Planet as well, from the horses that I've rescued and trained for a therapeutic riding program. Many of the kids and adults want to be called different-abled. They don't want to be called disabled. So they'll school you. And they're lovely. They're all my children. And then for Dining Out for Life, each year, Subaru and all the 6,000 restaurants in 60 states, and including Canada, for one day, we raise over $5 million for people who are living with HIV/AIDS, and all that money from the restaurant goes to the local HIV/AIDS organizations in education and employment, getting them jobs, getting them, an apartment. Sometimes they're not allowed in living facilities, so the education of the landlords allows people to live there and have a job and some integrity. And many places down in the South, certain states, there are families where the kids drop out of school at 7th, 8th grade. And so what the vets try to do is get them their GED so that they can become vet techs and have integrity, since they love animals. The backyard breeding is a big problem. Overpopulation with the animals is still a big problem. Many people will inbreed just to pay their cell phone. And let me tell you, when you go and see some of the people, you just think it's another world. And it is. And it is. And they're left out. They're left behind by their local government. So I don't know how people find me, but when I was harmed at 6, I realized that the family's draft horse was the animal that saved me. And I realized that in life, animals do save us. And many times we save them, but they really save us in many, many ways. So after I had cancer, I said, I know I have to continue serving. And I'm a hippie. I wear secondhand. I love consignment clothes. My dogs are gonna slobber me anyway, and it's gonna ruin those Prada and Chanel, whatever. We call it Channel back home. And we're always corrected. But I said, that's a Channel bag, isn't it? And they go, Chanel. I go, okay. Whatever, my dog's gonna wipe his snot on my leg for $3,000. I'm like, not what, So, but anyway, and what we can do with $3,000, you kidding me? That feeds animals for months. So, with that said, because of you guys, ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, supporting my career and my colleagues, we're able to do and give back and be a part of a community with shelters and serving and our community commitment. And I thank you for that, because they pay me and I send the check back. I don't cash it. Here, you can have that. And that gives me great gratitude to know that we all did it together.
Thank you, Pam. So we have just a couple of minutes for maybe one or two questions. Do we?
Got 15 minutes.
Okay, so we have time for one or two questions from the audience.
There's no questions, just food. Oh, there's now all of a sudden, ding, 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 ding. Okay, first row.
Her hand is up first, right at the end.
And then
here.
there's second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, tenth. Uh-oh, fight, it was
Ken's gonna
her.
give us the sign when it's time for me to wrap it up.
Thank you so much for being here. We are huge Jackie Brown fans. Can you please give us any behind the scenes funny anecdotes, anything you can tell us from the making of the movie?
There's children in here.
Try to keep it clean.
I have to think of something that's
That didn't
PG.
happen.
Oh, well, some people, was Sam Jackson, the rehearsing without the gun was very interesting. Quinn is very creative. He painted the apartment 6 times to look good with my uniform. I slept in the apartment to get the feel of it. And then when Sam comes over to comes to kill Jackie, Quentin made me, he sat in a chair in front of me, he says, I want to see you take the cigarette out, light it, smoke it, turn around, put the gun out, take the gun out of your purse and put it in your back, and I don't want to see it. I said, how do I do that? He said, we practiced for 4 hours trying to do that, so you're going to go back and want to see it. Like, how did she do that? She walked over to the purse, she had to take the cigarette out, light it, and then she had to take the gun in and turn and put it in the back, and Quentin, or you can't see it. We had to do it for 4 hours until Quentin says, I didn't see it, we're ready to shoot. I'm too tired to shoot now. I really can't, I can't lift my arms anymore. So, and then when Sam comes in, the Master of Arms won't let you use the gun until you're ready to shoot because of safety. So I had to use my hand. And Sam's between his legs, the gun. And he says, is that what I think it is? In that scene. And when we did the rehearsal, I said, yes, it's my hand. And I'm telling you, you are well endowed. And I said, I hope, because actors play tricks on each other. So if Sam knew we were going to rehearse that, he probably wouldn't have worn any underwear just to shock me. But he wasn't prepared, so he had underwear, and it didn't scare me. I was like, whew. I'm so glad Sam wore underwear in this rehearsal. And then we did it with the gun. But those are some of the anecdotes, and the rest are X-ray. I won't be able to talk about them because they're like la 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 la. And then with Max Cherry, I'll do briefly because there's so many anecdotes that you guys are just gonna die. With Max Cherry, I gave it a different ending. Everyone thought after we kissed, he's gonna go in the car with me, but instead he's like, I said, you have a job, you have clients, stay. And so he's gonna answer the phone and stay and let me go. He's afraid of me. And so my ending is, he wasn't afraid of me. He turned off the lights, put the answering machine on, puts the keys in his pockets. Let's go. And I was like, wow, this is a great ending. This is my ending, Quentin. And we walk out together, and he locks the door, and turns the sign closed, and he goes and opens the door for me. I get in, goes around, gets in, and remember how kind of calm and quiet he was, few words. He gets in the car and he starts talking, chatting. He won't shut the up. And he's, we can go, I need to go to my apartment, I need to get this, and I'm like, oh no, he's a chatterbox. I'm gonna go on vacation with this man talking like this all the time. So you see Jackie go, coming back around and stopping right in front of his office, kicking his butt out. I almost said ASS, but I kick him out and take off, and that was my ending, which is a little more comedy to it. I wanted to give him a chance, but he started talking and driving me crazy. So that was one of the things, and there's more, but I really can't talk about them because they're children. However, but with John Carpenter, Escape from LA, John calls me up, and I go, John Carpenter, oh my God, I get John Carpenter, and they says, no, you need to do an Oscar movie. I don't care, I want to work with John Carpenter. So he says, I want you to play a man. I went, huh? I said, where do you put these? And he says, we'll find a way. Pam, we're going to need those, but you'll be playing a woman, playing a man, playing a woman. Okay, I want you to come in, and I want you to meet Kirk, and I want you to come in the character at Warner Brothers. I'm like, will I get in the gate? How are they going to let me in? They said, sure. I said, okay, so I had to figure out how am I going to be a man and convince Kurt and them that I can be a woman and a man. Am I going to wear a beard and a mustache? He says, you figure it out. Thank you, John. You're supposed to have this written on the page, right? So I watched RuPaul, and I watched Birdcage and a few things like, okay, I think reverse brain, okay. I might have to drink before I show up. A few, shots of tequila. So, leggings, a denim shirt, combat boots, Pam Grier, makeup, eyelashes, hair, so it looks like a woman, right? I'll let my mustache grow out. I'll let my armpit hair grow out. And I'll put a sock in my leggings. No, the sock flattened out, so I put a zucchini in my leggings. And so I pulled up to the production office. Hi, Ms. Grier, how are you? Are you Pam? I know it's confusing from here on down, right? Yeah. So I walk into the office, and there's some crew members coming out to go to work, to go to location. And so as I walk in, and usually I'm the ballerina, and so I go, hey, what's up? Hey, I'm Pam
Trying to walk
Grier.
with the zucchini.
Hey. And so, hey, I'm here to see John Carpenter, I hold my zucchini. And the crew member goes, hey, that guy really looks like Pam Grier. I got this job. Oh my God. Oh, John is waiting for you, coming, okay. Hey, John, how you doing? Hey, John Carpenter, what up, John? John goes, oh my God. You're perfect. And so he says, Kurt, come see Pam. Come on, see Pam. So Kurt, and I say, hey, Kurt, what it is? What up, Kurt? And they go, oh my God. John says, she has more balls than you. And I'm like, oh my God. Well, I have more zucchini than you. And that's how I got that job, playing Carjack Malone. And sometimes, that's a part of acting. Because usually they expected me to be this girly girl with a low-cut jumpsuit or something like that. And I just realized I had to give both, if you understand the craft. I had to look like Pam from here up, but be, a man from here on down with a zucchini. And I'm sure there were zucchinis on my dates as well back in the day. And I fell for it, but that was one of the, and it's going to be in the film as well, how I got the job with John, who's wonderful, by the way. John Carpenter, if you're a Carpenter fan, and I had to work with him. I'm sorry, I just had to. And I just had to give him my zucchini, just to prove how much I loved him, so.
I think we have time for maybe one more question.
No one will ever eat zucchini again after this.
Right over there.
They'll look at it and go, oh no, it's Pam Grier's sock.
So I heard that there was going to be a return of the L word. Will you be involved in that?
Oh no, I can't. I'm already doing another series called Bless This Mess.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is with the L word, it has to be, it won't be network TV because the L word had real authentic nudity and adult content. So I don't know if it'll be Showtime or Hulu or HBO or what, but I know you're gonna miss that in me, right? But I didn't really show anything. I just sang and let everybody else run around scantily clad.
But if the show goes on for a while, is there a chance that you would be involved with it in any way?
No, I'm contracted to another network now.
Okay.
So my content and everything that I do will be with another network. And I will be directing a film that I wrote called Fried Chicken Chronicles as well. So, anything, like I said, to keep from doing the dishes. I just love what I do. But I get to meet you, and I get to hear like, wow, that was different. That was a story that we knew about, and you brought it to screen, and thank you. So that's the fun part of what I do, and I have so many different cultures in my family. It's just great because I have a Romanian gypsy. I did that ancestry DNA. Have y'all done that?
Yep.
Isn't it scary?
Yeah.
I'm 33% Scottish and Irish, 18% Nigerian, and the rest is crazy. It's like, oh my goodness. And I said, don't come to my funeral. Okay, and I ain't coming to yours. Don't send me your children, okay? But it was wonderful. I just wanted to see what we might have genetically through heredity, illnesses and things happening. So it was really fascinating to do it, and I hope all you guys do it because it's amazing. I laughed, and then I was able to tell my mom, hey Mom, guess what? You're the only child. Daddy Ray only had one child. Marky had two. So I don't understand the math here. So my mother said, what? What? So it was interesting. Do it when everyone is drunk and they've left their guns and knives at the door when you reveal, because it's hilarious, let me tell you. Because some people aren't related and some said, and it was like, oh my God. But it was fun. It was most interesting, which I hope to bring to this screen in Fried Chicken Chronicles, which I won't give it away.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
I know
you,
you
Pam.
will.
Thank
I know
you,
you
Pam.
will.
And thank you so much for being here tonight at HorrorFest. Pam Grier. Thank you so much for letting me out.
And I talk fast. Yay. Thank you for coming. This has been extraordinary for me. It makes doing films worth it to get to see the audience. Usually y'all sitting in the dark. I don't get to see anybody, and I might get fan mail. They don't have fan mail anymore. I have Facebook and Twitter and all this stuff. So the fan mail's archaic, but guess what? I saved all my fan mail. I have boxes of it, and I read it and sometimes just cry from some of the people who are so extraordinary and who love films, and they related to, me being sick and what I did, but I save them as a treasure, and I plan on putting them in a book, so to see, and publish them, so everyone to see all the incredible fan mails from the early '60s, from the beginning of my career until everyone forgot and said it's email and text, go get it, so. But yeah, it has been an extraordinary ride meeting everyone who enjoy my work, and I'm glad that you did. And you could curse me out if you wanted to as well, but I was respectful to children. I didn't even say tushy or took us or bum or any of those things. I always respect children and the elderly and senior wherever I am. So thank you so much for inviting me here. You've been very generous.